Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the THREEOHTAKE, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the THREEOHTAKE, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 393. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here with my co-host, me, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Let's go. I'm bummed.
It's
it's great being here, but I'm kind of bummed.
Let's just get it out of the way. All right, so if this is the first time you've ever heard us, welcome. But also you need to get caught up to speed. We had plans of going to Game 3 of the Wild Card Series in Philly. If you are a regular listener, you already were aware of this, and you were more than likely aware that that's what we were pulling for. We were pulling for a Marlins win in Game 2, but if you've been paying attention, you now know that there are 0 Game 3s for the Wild Card Series. So
I hate that.
Not only were our dreams of going to Philly for what would have been, I can only imagine, an epic Game 3. Not only were those dreams crushed, we can't even go anywhere today to watch any baseball.
There's nothing to watch.
Not even if it was an afternoon game, we still could have made it. Evening game, we definitely would have been there to watch, but there's literally nothing going on. So
the Marlins are dead to me.
Bummed. Yeah.
Couldn't be more dead to me. That Let's Go Marlins phase that we were in for a while.
Yeah. We toyed with it a little bit this year, but it's
gone.
It's out. Yeah, thanks for ruining our lives, Marlins. Wish we would have never known you.
Yeah. Well, here's the issue. Why this becomes an issue is because of the flight. The flight took forever because it's a 4.5-hour flight. I lose 3 hours coming from Arizona to get to East Coast time. So it was like, well, you couldn't fly in today hoping for a Game 3. Because I wouldn't have gotten here in time. Because it's a 3-hour drive up, right? So it was like had to come yesterday, and the game was, by the time I landed, I think it was in like the 4th or 5th inning already. The Marlins and Phillies game too. So yeah, and at that point, the Marlins were just anemic.
Yeah, by the time we get to the house, Bryson Stott has proceeded to hit a grand slam to put him up.
We were parking
7 hours at that point. So that's fun.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned, 0 Game 3s for this Wild Card Series, which certainly surprised me. I think it surprised you as well as a lot of other people, because I think you would have to think at least one of these series. I mean, I think I had maybe two of them going a third game. I'd have to check. Yeah, I had 2 of these going to a third game. But alas, here we are. Which one of these? I mean, I have a list. I have them in order here that we can talk through. Is there a certain one you want to start with? Do you want to go Rangers, Rays?
Yeah, I like that.
I think that one warrants the most discussion, because what was that?
What happened?
What was that? Game 1, you had the Rangers beating the Rays 4-0. Game 2, Rangers 7-1. Just an absolute pitiful performance by the Rays offense, which was so highly touted coming into this Wild Card Series. Yeah. But that just goes to show you that a 162, especially the way a 162 starts out, does not translate necessarily or help you in October. And we saw that in perfect fashion with the Rays.
They just look weird. Like, they didn't look Tampa Bay Rays like. And even on paper, like, if you were to go back, if you were to ask me tomorrow, Jordan Montgomery versus Glasnow, I'm going Glasnow. You know what I mean? And still, like, they were playing weird the whole time. Like, bad defense.
Horrible defense.
Like, bad. All the outfielders struggled.
Was it Siri the one that just launched that he like booted the ball, and then just launches it into the crowd.
Yeah,
the dugout.
That was, it was like a short hop to him, then he like flipped it up in the air because it hit off like the heel of his glove. He had another ball that he should have caught up against the wall. Reddy and Rosarena looked kind of questionable and left. I think game 2, Josh Lowe, like, it's tough. It was that like bloop triple that went up the line a little bit that could possibly have been catchable, but like, just not typical Rays stuff. I think I saw something that the Rays were like 1 out away from the longest streak, right, of scoreless.
Yeah, I got it here somewhere. The Rays' scoreless streak reached 33 innings, one shy of the postseason record held by the 1966-1974 Los Angeles Dodgers.
This is not what we expected, like, at all. At least somewhat of a fight. And I understand, like, we can talk about how the Rays not having the rotation that they expected coming into the season and getting into the postseason. Like, that is one thing. But for this offense to just go completely anemic after a 99-win season.
Yeah, I mean, that's the takeaway here is, like, we're not even talking about the pitching here. We're purely focused on the lack of offense. To score 1 run in 18 innings of playoff baseball.
It's ugly.
And did I mention it's playoff baseball? Can we talk about the turnout?
Dude.
Like, I've never been more done with an organization.
The bridge.
It's the bridge. Bro, it's a 3 p.m. game. Like, what do you expect? Okay, well then tell me why it was... I said packed. I was corrected by calling Target Field packed. Apparently it was not packed. But... it was a heck of a lot more of a turnout than they had in St. Pete. And they had a 3:30 game. So don't sit here and try to tell me that a 38-minute discrepancy is going to be the difference between 20,000 people. I mean, that I don't know if I have the... or yeah, here we go. The 19,704 turnout on Tuesday was the lowest figure for a Major League postseason game since the 1919 World Series.
And that was like, people were like dying, getting on the way to the game.
Tim Kirchin was talking about it. He said Shoeless Joe was in that World Series.
Dude.
So don't tell me that it's because you're mildly inconvenienced from an afternoon game.
This new stadium isn't coming until 2025, right?
No, it's like 27 or 28, I think.
Oh, no.
I think.
Hopefully they just missed the postseason moving forward. But yeah, embarrassing. Just embarrassing. Ugly. Soft.
There's just no...
I'm running out of adjectives. I don't know.
I'm trying to wrap my head around the excuses that I've heard from Rays fans. Like, I've heard that, like, well, it's a young franchise. It's been 25 years.
Yeah, no, that excuse is done too.
And if you need to double check me on that, check the patch on their sleeve. 25 years. How much more time do you need to get the fan base kind of moving out of their slothful state? Because it's the playoffs. And if you say, well, it's because it's during the workday, like 95% of your state is retirees. So like the workday element carries no weight for me. And then if you're just talking about it being a work day for the middle-aged fan or the 20-something fan, take the day off.
Yeah. Everyone else went. Every other city. So.
Have you ever heard of PTO?
You just have a bad fan base. I don't know when Rays fans are going to admit that they're not a good fan base.
What a joke. What a joke.
It was nice to see the Rangers, though. It was nice to see Eovaldi go... bringing it strong game 2. Jordan Montgomery looked really good game 1.
Jordan Montgomery, I believe, I mean, you can check me on this, but he's looked good for like almost a month now, at least. Yeah. Probably further back than that. But I was glad to see Eovaldi throw as well as he did because that was one of my concerns. I mean, I think I still had the Rangers in 2. but that was like the one, or no, yeah, I had the Rangers in 2. But it wasn't necessarily as easy of a 2 as it maybe could have been for another series. Simply because Eovaldi, like I said, has just prior to the start since he returned from injury, has not looked like Nathan Eovaldi. But
how many pitches do you go
for in the same fashion that a lot of other guys do, when the postseason lights flip on, he finds a way to figure it out, and he certainly did that. So good for
98 pitches.
Yeah, so and they were building him up for that, because there was a few starts he's had since he was returned from injury that was not given much of a long leash. So good to see that. That's good. That's certainly good news for them moving forward into the DS. Any other takeaways from this series in particular?
Don't let this Rangers offense get hot. You know what I mean?
Specifically, Evan Carter.
Yeah, what a freaking stud! I think I saw something that he didn't record an out in the 2 games. Like hitting, didn't record an out.
I think he struck out his 7th at bat over the series, because I think reached base in his first 6 postseason ABs, doubling twice, drawing 3 walks, and then he homered off Eflin as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
But I think he mixed in
a
strikeout out there.
You're right.
Still, like,
21 years old, man.
Insane.
Been in the bigs for a month.
Insane.
I think he didn't he have a heck of a catch in left too? I think he made a diving catch in game 1. Like,
I believe so. Yeah.
I'm feeling it.
That's a sign of good things to come.
I'm feeling it
for them. And when you get to the postseason, everybody knows you need a guy that you weren't necessarily counting on, and not being super in tune with the Rangers' day-to-day operations. I don't know how much stock or what expectations they had for him this postseason with him being on the roster. But you need a guy to step up that you weren't necessarily planning on stepping up in order for you to make a deep run. And this very well may be the source of, at least from the offensive side of the ball, the jolt that they need moving forward.
This is like the old school vet skipper Bochy just being like, I trust this kid. Just toss him into the fire and let him go. And there's every postseason, no matter what team it is, you always find someone that's like, they make a name for themselves. You know what I mean? Like, no one knew who Randy Arozarena was before that postseason run he went on. So it's cool to see when managers like get outside of the script a little bit. Speaking of script, though, can we talk about John Schneider and the Blue Jays?
You want to talk Twins, Blue Jays?
I think we need to get this out of the way.
Game 1, Twins 3, Blue Jays 1. Game 2, Twins 2, Blue Jays 0. Yet another anemic offense that was praised for having the opposite heading into the postseason. Again, 1 run over 2 games. That, I hate to break it to you, that's not going to get it done. Even against what we still believe to be a garbage Twins team.
I know.
But look, the Twin, credit to them. They showed up. They showed up, did what they had to do.
Yeah. What was it, game 2, bases loaded, Matt Chapman, foul ball down the line, that would have
cleared the bases.
That would have done some stuff. Maybe 2 feet foul. Next pitch rolls into a double play.
That's
like, it was just that kind of stuff. That stupid pick from Vladdy at second.
Yeah, that really got you bothered.
Dude, just sitting there waving at the dugout for a minute and a half. Everyone's coming off the field and he's just sitting there laying there. I hate that fat MFer, dude. He just drives me crazy. I hate him. I can't hide it anymore.
I'm still waiting on the movie. And go ahead, say like, oh, we get it, enough of the movie joke. No, like, if this guy is going to be heralded as one of the faces of baseball, or at least one of the faces of the American League East, if you want to maybe not put as much pressure on him, then like you're going to have to do a little more than what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because like we said, coming into this postseason, you had a rather pedestrian regular season, and this was an opportunity for you to do something to right that ship, to correct your regular season, even slightly. And he didn't do that. And I know that because they only scored 1 run. Mm-hmm. So even if, which I don't have his numbers pulled up, even if he was getting on base, he's not providing the pop that they needed from him this postseason. And as a result, they're going home.
I don't know what they need to do, and I'm not sure what they need to do moving forward. But, I mean, it kind of seems like he needs to be a full-time DH. He's atrocious at first. And so, like, as awesome of a story that Brandon Belt was in the first half of the season, I don't think he really lived up to what they were hoping for. They probably need a really good first baseman now. But, I don't know. But what I was mentioning before, Game 2. You got Barrios coming home. A little revenge game for Jose Barrios. Looking nasty. Looking good. I think it was 5 Ks through 3.
I think so, yeah.
Looking gross.
Yeah.
And Kikuchi is up in the pen, getting loose in the second inning.
And then he had a walk and a base hit, I think, or vice versa.
I think it was just a walk.
Was it just a walk? And then
got yanked.
I was reading though that, which I don't know I can't remember if they talked about this on the broadcast or not, but they were saying that Schneider had promised, or that he, as a result of pulling Barrios and putting Kikuchi in, that he had like fulfilled his promise that anybody not named Kevin Gausman would be available. And it's like, I don't know if you need to prove make that call just to prove a point. Like, I think you can still say that and have that be an option. Yeah. But like, if a guy is cruising, like, don't make such a drastic, impactful move just to cover yourself.
Well, Michael K said on the broadcast, and I know you're not a Michael K guy, but he made a good point. He was like, this seemed like a move that they made last night, looking at like a spreadsheet. Like they already knew. And I don't understand it. I don't see why. It's a 0-0 ball game. Like, you let one guy on, and he looked good. He looked really good.
Yeah, I saw people making comparisons to 2020 Cash with Snell.
I think if it was a bigger game, I think if it was deeper in the postseason, this would have gotten a lot more hate. Yeah. But I wouldn't be happy. If I was a Blue Jays fan, I'd be pissed. This was ugly. Yeah. This was not good. And Kikuchi immediately... I mean, just think about it. That guy has been a starter. And why would you bring him in a relief role with a guy on? Like, if you're going to go and get into the bullpen, I'd much rather give me a reliever that can finish off that inning and then give Kikuchi the next one for a clean start. But to bring a guy into the pen immediately into the stretch, this just is a lot of weird moves. I didn't like it. I did not like it. But overall, I mean, I don't think we can take away from the fact that like the Twins' offense looked pretty good. Looked good against Gausman. And I mean, Barrios was nasty, but they found a way to get the job done. And it was like clean stuff outside of Royce Lewis. Just,
I mean, game 1, the Royce Lewis game.
Hello.
I mean, I remember thinking to myself, after he hit the first one, I was like, okay, like this could be it for him today, and good for him.
Yeah, that's a big moment.
That's a big moment for you. Like, congrats, you checked that box today. And then he goes out and hits a second one. I'm like, okay, we need to start having a bigger conversation about the role that not only he's going to be playing for this team moving forward, but like beyond this season, but like the very real potential for impact that he could have the rest of this postseason, depending upon how long they go or how far they go.
Yeah, they were saying. I didn't realize he was still hurting from that hamstring. That's why he wasn't playing third.
Yeah,
and they were saying like, apparently Baldelli was like, any ground ball you hit, that's an out. Like, don't even go down the line. Like, it's an out. Just accept it. And I think I don't know if you saw, there was like in the game 2 he hit like this swinging bunt that ended up just trickling foul, but he was like busting it down the line. And then a couple of pitches later he gets into a double play and he's like basically walking.
Yeah.
So, but him healthy with that juice, it's interesting. It's interesting.
I mean, he played a huge role in helping this Twins team. What was it? 18 games. I think it was 18 games, but then it was their first advancement in 21 years.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I mean, that's I told you after game 1, they took the first one and I said, and people listened because they hit me up after the game. They said, "You got it right." I said they're gonna pick up one. I still have the Jays winning the series, but I said the streak ends this year. Like there's no way.
I was just rooting for the streak.
I mean, I think we all were.
Yeah.
I think we all were. But there's just no way that you can reach 20. Well, no, it still would have been. Would that have been 19 games, 20 games?
Yeah.
They were just due.
They were due.
There's no way that continues.
I got to be honest, though. I mean, like, when you look at the rest of the teams, when you're talking 1-2 starters, I mean, Pablo Lopez and Sonny Gray, like, that's a 1-2 punch. That's an impressive 1-2 punch. And I don't think I brought that into the equation that much when I was first predicting.
No, you did, because I mean you mentioned.
I just didn't think Sonny Gray had like
that's what I'm saying.
The heartbeat for that moment.
Right? Yeah, you had anti.
That's a little that's bias. That's Yankee hater bias for sure.
Anti light bulb. Yeah. Sonny Gray bias. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody. Right, there's no way anybody saw the Jays' offense going that cold. Because I
just not clutch at all.
I warned people going into this series. I said, it's not just Vladdy that's been pedestrian. Like you go down the rest of the lineup. Like Matt Chapman's is a guy. I can't remember there was a third name that I included in that discussion as well. But like, I wasn't gonna be surprised if they were struggling to scrap together some runs. But like, to that extent, you weren't really stringing together much of anything.
Yeah, you weren't threatening at all. It didn't feel like a threat.
No. Although, did I see that they out-hit the Twins? Did I see that right? Because wasn't it this series where... Yeah, it was this series.
They had 9 hits in game 2.
They left 9 runners on.
6 hits in game 1. Yeah.
Each game.
Yeah. Yeah. They had
so
more hits.
If you want to talk about like stringing hits, getting on base together, sure, but like you need to be able to, in the postseason, you need to be able to put up a crooked number, and you just didn't do that.
Was that Correa play? I mean, that like,
I hate to say it.
He bugs me so much.
It kind of moves the needle for me. It certainly does.
But that was like,
yeah,
that's big time postseason stuff. Like that's like, I've been here, I know what I'm doing kind of stuff, and I gotta respect that.
You talk about the heartbeat, like it doesn't increase whatsoever when the calendar turns October. Same heart rate. Does not budge for that guy. He.
I think I saw he got like his 60th postseason RBI.
Yeah, I mean all those guys, Correa, Altuve, Springer, that were with that Houston.
Yeah.
With that team, with the Astros for that run that they were on for those number of years, like they were just putting up insane numbers, and they're all up on the. I mean, we just talked about last episode. Springer, for like multiple offensive categories is like top 5.
Yeah.
at the plate. So I mean,
Yeah.
Correa is no different. So it'd be interesting to see with them. I mean, we'll get into the DS and the DS previews in a little bit, but it'll be interesting to see how if and how the momentum that seemingly he built up on a personal level these last two games, and just like the mojo, I feel like that's starting to pick up a little bit for him. I'm curious to see how that plays against Houston in the DS.
I hate to say that, like, it's not like he needs fuel, but I think just all the stuff that's happened over the last few off seasons has fueled him for these moments, and it's like he's got a chip on his shoulder again.
Yeah.
And I hate him. I'm never gonna hide that, but you gotta respect that. It's like, he's a dude.
Yeah, you gotta respect a guy who like can find something, as long as it's not, for me at least, speaking.
Like as long as it's not manufactured.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As long as it's not manufactured, where you're just, which he has been known to manufacture, like hatred against him. So it kind of goes both ways with him. But at least in these specific scenarios, I feel like it's very clear that there's another drive there for him, another gear that he can kick it into. And I'll be curious to see, because this will be the first postseason matchup with Houston, right? For him.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
He's going to get love.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
He's going to get love from the Houston crowd.
Yeah. I agree. D-backs Brewers, you want to talk D-backs Brewers?
This probably, to me, I feel like got the least amount of attention, but one could argue it's probably the best series.
Yeah.
Like, watching through, the Brewers were like, there was just like little weird stuff, like strange little things, like the ball got smoked up the middle and pitcher knocks it down. Would have been a single up the middle, scored a run. Like, it's just little stuff like that.
Yeah.
That could have happened. There was a couple like really reviews that got turned over, like the ball hitting off the hitter's foot.
Yeah.
There was one, I think that was like a bang bang pickoff play, or like little stuff that could have, if it would have gone the Brewers' way.
Well, yeah,
they could have won that.
I think you alluded to it. There was like a ball, I think Gallen was on the bump, and he like swatted it down or something.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm thinking of? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, I mean,
like small stuff. Small bang bang plays that could have been flipped. I mean, props to the Diamondbacks for taking advantage, but both teams, I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised by the Brewers. I really was.
Well, we released last episode, 392, and then within an hour, we get the news on, because what day would that have been? That would have been Monday.
Mm-hmm.
We record, we release, within an hour, we get the news that Brandon Woodruff out for the DS, possibly the entire postseason.
Yeah.
Which I don't even think I got the full context on. Was this a lingering thing that they pushed down the stretch that then
I think so.
Bumped him out?
I think it was. Because they rushed him back.
Yeah.
I remember he was out most of the season. I think he only threw like 50 or 60 innings this year.
Yeah, so I mean that was, I mean, given the two arms they did have and that did throw in Peralta and Burns, or vice versa, if you're talking order, you could make it work for a 3-game series. Even if it goes 3, you could string together enough to make it work. But without Woodruff, forget a 7-game series, a 5-game series, you would be hurting without a guy like Woodruff.
Yeah.
And they were talking about it on the broadcast, like nobody really knows except the guys in the clubhouse how much of an impact that, like, what kind of a blow that was to the guys in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
And I would imagine it was rather impactful given that, I mean, you couldn't even, I mean, and I know Arizona's got all right pitching, at least between Gallen and Kelly, but Kelly didn't even throw.
Yeah.
And with Burns on the bump in game 1 going up against Fott or whatever.
Pete Fat.
You got to find a way to sneak that out.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Arizona threw like 7. Didn't they throw like 7 or 8 guys in the first game? Like you gotta.
Yeah. They went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 arms, and not to mention, I mean, the Brewers had a 3-0 lead through 2.
Yeah,
they jumped.
Both were comeback win. I mean,
yeah.
Depending upon how you want to characterize a comeback win, based on how early it is. But I mean, they were down first in both games. Obviously, come back to sweep the series.
And the Brewers put up 2 in the first inning in game 2. That's what I'm saying, dude. It was this weird thing where it seemed like everything was going the Diamondbacks' way, and they took advantage of it, and that's what good teams do. I mean, they played really good defense. It was just like, I think I was expecting the Brewers to be a little bit more of like a lackluster offense. It's especially when we're talking about like other offenses, like the Blue Jays and the Rays. It was like, of the offenses in this group, I'm gonna go against the Brewers, but they look good. Like they looked pretty good, dude. A lot of barrels. It was just like, it was kind of rough luck. And couple plays that could have swung their way that could have changed the outcome. At least forced a game 3, but it just didn't.
Yeah,
they changed my mind a little bit. I gained some respect for the Brewers.
But if you were forced to leave a team and take a team from this postseason, I feel like you're dropping one of the AL East teams.
Yeah.
Like, completely. I mean, the Marlins for obvious reasons, but like just in terms of completely letting you down. And then if you had to take a team, it sounds like you'd be taking the Brewers.
I kind of would
swap them out.
I kind of would be. But it's just, you can see like where things could go a little bit differently. Like, do you really want to be relying on like a 35-plus-year-old middle of the order between Carlos Santana and Josh Donaldson? And it's like, and I know as much crap as we were giving everybody, like Mark Canha isn't the answer. He did okay, but it's just like this is what the Brewers do over and over again, and you can't rely on those guys. Yes, they have the experience, and yes, they've been in those positions before, but it's like, really? Like, you got nothing else going for you? So,
and like on that
I'd like
note,
to see them mad.
On that note, like if you're a fan of a team that follows that school of thought, where it's like we're a team that let's just take the Brewers for example. If the Brewers, which they may or may not verbalize this stance, but for the sake of this exercise, let's just say that their point of view, their philosophy for running their organization is that as the Brewers, we look around at teams like the Mets and the Padres, and that's all we need to know about spending money not equaling success. And so with that in mind, we are going to take our own approach of piecing together a team that we think could compete. 9 times out of 10, this is the kind of result you're going to get, where it's like, you know what? Credit to the Brewers if that's what they did. If they thought Carlos Santana, Josh Donaldson, Mark Canha, guys like that were the answer to supplement their otherwise great pitching. If that's the approach you're going to take, you're like you said, you're going to get there, but it's only going to get you there. You may have a team every now and then that sneaks through and goes on some sort of crazy run, but again, 9 times out of 10. This is where the road ends, and that's why I think teams like the Rays and maybe not even so much the Rays, but like more so like the Blue Jays, where it's like you had pitching, you had star power, albeit again pedestrian. You would think a team like that would be better suited to go deeper, but they were met with the same result, which I think is one of the more surprising aspects of this.
But it's just something tells me, and the reason I won't fully buy the Brewers because I feel like they're going to come out of this and be like, that's a successful year. But I think they're happy with this year.
Yeah,
which is, I think, to a lot of fans' standards, not enough. But I don't know. I think they have development issues, dude. Like, when's the last time you saw somebody that's brought up through that system? Ryan Braun. I say offensively. Who? Yelich came from Miami.
I don't know.
Willie Adames came from Tampa. Like, what? That's what I'm saying.
They're stud Mark Hanna.
Why aren't they? Yeah. So what? Like, why? Where's the issue here? It's been years, and you're not having any of your prospects pan out and be somebody. So I think there's like a serious issue with. Say what you will about spending, but you get draft picks, and you get prospects. You have development issues.
Yeah.
If none of these guys are panning out and making an impact at the big league level, it's like you got to change some stuff.
Yeah, this is, big picture here. This is the Brewers' fourth straight first-round exits.
Fourth straight?
Fourth straight. They have dropped 9 of their last 10 playoff games. A stretch that started with their Game 7 home loss to the Dodgers in 2018, which I do remember that game. I
think we have ourselves the buildup of a new Twins.
Personally, I've lumped those two. I've lumped
Same.
the Centrals
irrelevant.
all together.
Yeah.
For a while now, but I think it's really starting to show. The more times they return to the postseason, the Twins obviously not as much this year with advancing, but if they were to take the place of the Twins, now that the Twins have seemingly gotten the monkey off their back, if the Brewers now are going to turn into this team that just shows up, hey, thanks for participating, we'll see you next year in spring training. Like, if that's all you're going to get from Milwaukee, then I would safely say that they have taken over that title from the Twins. Phillies, Marlins, save the best for last. What did I say previewing this first round? I said this was the most.
You did predict this.
I said this was the most lopsided series.
I can blame you.
Lopsided matchup. And again, what did I say? I said it pains me to say, but I have the Phillies sweeping as much as it pains me to say, and that you can put that on me because maybe I should have set aside my need to get my predictions right and my desire to run the table on my picks for the betterment of the podcast. And maybe I should have just said that, you know what?
You shift your priorities.
The Marlins do get a dub here.
Yeah.
Maybe they would have pulled it out. Probably not, though, because even if I would have put that out in the universe, I think the Marlins were still going to suck. Because that was a pathetic showing.
No Sandy.
No,
it's just if they had Sandy, I could have given them a dub.
If they had 2022 Sandy,
that's fair.
It's well documented. It's clear that this was just not a an encore of a year that he would have, or the team would have hoped he would have had. But really, all together, like every team that got bounced, obviously, if you're getting bounced, you're not scoring more runs than the other team. But like these teams that are getting bounced were not scoring at all. Forget outscoring your opponent. Like you have to score at least one to win a game, and that's about all they were doing was scoring one here, one there, game 1, game 2. I understand I think we were talking about it earlier that I saw that no road team, I guess in the wild card era, or I guess in this game 3 with the establishment of the 3-game series, no road team has lost game 1 and then gone on to win the series.
Yeah.
Which I understand because losing that, and I feel it too as somebody like watching these games that doesn't even have a dog in the fight. As somebody that's watching these games, and you see Team X drop game one, you just kind of feel your stomach sink a little bit, and you're like, I think this is kind of it for them this year. Maybe we'll just see them in March, because that's a tough. As much as we can appreciate a season not coming down to a single wild card game anymore, because I think that was a little unfair in the respects of the two teams that are playing. Because
I'm glad I like this.
Yeah, I think this is better, but it's still tough. Yeah. And I get that they play 3-game seasons all year.
Yeah.
But it's, as we all know, things shift in October, and there's added pressure. There's things that you have to account for that you didn't necessarily have to plan for in the regular season. And to drop the first game right out of the chute on the road, that's tough.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it is. I'm like looking through the box score, and there's just nothing that I didn't see anything. Like, I didn't see anything. I think Luzardo holding. Yeah, I mean, I can't even say holding. He went 8 hits and 3 runs in 4 innings. Did have 5 Ks, but I saw a little bit in game 2. It seemed like there were some barrels off Aaron Nola, a couple balls to the track, a couple hard hit balls, and you were like, okay, like, they've done well against Nola. We talked about that last episode. So it never developed. John Birdie, I hate him now.
I don't think it would have mattered. I think
that was the death. That put the nail in the coffin. That was the moment for me. Didn't even need Bryson Stott's grand slam. It was just this dumb, what are you doing kind of play.
That was the time of death for them.
That was
that moment.
Bad.
Yeah.
1 out. Luis Arias on deck.
Which, can we pause real quick? Was that quote, did you see the quote after game 1? Was that legit? Do we know for sure?
What quote?
Where he said that, I think it was after, or no. It was either before or after game 1, but it was surrounding game 1. And he said that his mom wasn't able to make the series, like wouldn't be available to see the series in Philly, but that she's in Atlanta for when the Marlins advance to the NLDS, and she'll be able to watch him there. Was that real? Because I saw that and I didn't see surprisingly there like wasn't that much noise made about it, so I didn't know if he actually said that or not. But if he did, come on.
I didn't even know John Birdie before this series, and now he is dead to me.
Well, that was Luis Arias.
Oh, Luis Arias' mom said that?
No, Luis Arias said that about his mom. Said that my mom isn't in Philly for this series, but she'll be in Atlanta for when we advance to the NLDS.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. You're the leader. You're hitting 700. Like, that's cool. I thought it was John Birdie's that said that about his mom. And I'm like, John Birdie is...
No.
Public enemy number 1 for me.
You can't hate him that
much.
One
could argue the Diamondbacks are the one that just freaking fizzled into and lost like 4 out of 5 to get into the postseason. They had that second spot. And based on what I saw from the Diamondbacks, I do think they could have taken at least 1 game from the Phillies.
Yeah.
And we would have been able to go today. So... part of me hates the Diamondbacks.
Even if the Phillies drop the series, which obviously is not what we would have wanted, because I think
we're at least gone.
We're at least on. I think we're safely on. Me, obviously, I think a little more so than you, but I think we're both on the Phillies bandwagon a little bit.
I just wanted I wanted the bank, dude. I wanted that in my veins. Yeah. I wanted to feel it.
So even if the D-backs took the series in the same fashion that they did,
we would have felt it
against the Brewers. We could have at least been there, but no.
Lame. Yeah, overall, I mean, the Marlins, you need Pop. They need to go get Pop in that lineup. Like, it's just, there's no other way around it. I know it's a big ballpark. You gotta go. Bring Stanton back. I'm tired of him. We're done with him. We'll pay that. Take him back. Go get somebody. Like, Luis Arias needs somebody to be able to just drive in runs. And, like, Jorge Soler, I think, has the ability to do it, but it's just not consistent enough.
Yeah.
Jake Berger, I did like the addition. Josh Bell. Josh Bell gets hot for a week, twice a year, and that's it.
In your frustration last night, as the Phillies were just running away with it, I did think it was funny where you said Josh Bell sucks, and then immediately
roped like 115 mile an hour
on the right. Love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, to your point, they definitely need pop, and that's another example, like I was talking about, where if that's their philosophy, to where it's like we're not gonna be the big spenders anymore, like we,
then go all the way with that. You know what I mean? Like if you want to be just a scrappy team, we're just gonna be a scrappy 9 guys out there. Then go all the way with that. Josh Bell's not that guy. Jake Berger's not that guy. Go get all contact guys then. If you want to live that life, live that life. That's fine.
Yeah, but that's hard to. You need like a little something, because that's hard to explain to your and justify to your fan base. Where it's like we're scrappy,
for sure,
but we're the ultimate scrap team because we have no power.
They need
they need something.
I don't know, but move the fences in a little bit. Build a little something, and left field, bring it in.
They got plenty of time to do it now.
Yeah,
they got all off season.
Should we got to address we got to give the Phillies a little bit of love here.
Oh yeah, sorry, I mean
straight Marlins.
I don't know. I think in my head I'm a little peeved with them, because it's like, yeah, you did what we wanted you to do, but
you did it too well.
You did it too fast.
Yeah.
You did it too well, and you did it too fast.
Yep.
It's like I was actively rooting for you to lose.
Yeah.
Wednesday night, and you just go out there and humiliate the Marlins. Which, speaking of shove, and you already mentioned his name, but Aaron Nola.
That's a big time postseason.
Good
start.
for you.
Yeah.
Him and Wheeler. Both.
Yeah, Wheeler's just a lock, I think. But
you had Nola go 7 shut, and then game 1 you had Wheeler 6 2/3, just 1 run. I mean, that was, and I don't remember if I mentioned it specifically last episode, like for our preview, but if there was going to be a game that would have extended it that would have pushed it to a 3rd game, I was of the belief, based on his track record against the Marlins, it would have been game 2.
Right.
And
that was my prediction.
When he goes out there doing what he was doing last night, I'm like, by like the 3rd inning, I was like, we don't stand a chance here. So I'm just going to go pick up Nate from the airport, and we'll figure out plans for the next few days, because there's no mini baseball. So good for them for dominating the way they did on the bump. Bryson Stott, have a moment, kid.
Yeah, for real.
But the narrative now I'm seeing is finally coming around to what I was trying to say last year about, the Citizens Bank Park is electric. This team is dangerous. All of these things that we were talking about last year. It's like people are, I think, nationally around the league, people are finally starting to put 2 and 2 together about what this team brings to the table. And people can say what they want about the Braves.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a series.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be the one I'm watching.
Braves fans are sweating.
They won't admit it, but they're sweating.
There's a couple already in the fantasy chat that are sweating. They're nervous. And by the way, if this lineup, and I know you talked about yesterday, if we were going to not get our hopes, at least have the Phillies dudes be the dude.
I was telling Nate, I was like, I would feel better about our situation with not being able to make game 3 if the Marlins would have just gotten manhandled by the guys you would expect to do it, like a Harper or a Schwarber.
That's the thing, though. That's what I'm saying, is that, that's why Braves fans are sweating in my mind. Because game 1, the entire lineup got a hit.
Yeah.
Brandon Marsh subbed in for Pache at one point, and he went 0 for 2, but the rest of the lineup, Pache already had a hit.
Yeah.
The entire lineup had a knock.
And in that scenario, I think Bryce was the last guy to get the hit. So I'm like, okay, if that's what we're working with here, and then in game 2 you have
Bryce didn't get a knock in game 2.
And then, game 2, you're getting beat by Bryson Stott and JT Realmuto. Like that, at that point, that's when I knew.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that Nola was pitching as well as he was, when those guys started, I'm like, okay, like
I'm telling you, man,
it's one thing with these guys.
I'd be nervous if I was a Braves fan. I would be nervous. This team is getting hot, and you're talking about secondary guys getting hot. You got to stand by your prediction anyway. You've been saying it for weeks.
Yeah, I said, spare me the Braves, spare me the Dodgers. At the Phillies, and this was before we knew for sure that they were getting in. I said, if they get in, put them in the World Series.
Yeah.
Sharpie it. I don't care.
Yeah.
And tell me another team in the postseason right now that has more people sweating more than they do with the Phillies.
It's true. It's a team that's like it. They ran it back. They plugged holes, and they're running it back.
And this is why, not to make this about the Red Sox, we're not going to make it about the Red Sox, but this is why I laugh at the people who are going, would you really rather go back to the days of Dave Dombrowski? And I sit there and go, yeah, I think I would.
Yeah.
I think I would like to go back to the days of Dave Dombrowski because
look what they're doing.
Look at what they're doing. Look at the path they're on right now. If you can take care of the Braves.
Should we get into that then? A little DS talk?
I suppose so.
Talk that talk.
Let's since we're on it, let's talk NLDS. Let's start it off with the Phillies Braves. Since we didn't really get to cover the teams that had a bye, Braves, Orioles, so on and so forth, I did have some notes on those, but we can just kind of look at the matchup as a whole.
Yeah.
But the Braves offense that received the love that they earned all year, they tied the league record for most home runs in a season. There have been, and if you remember, the team that they tied was the 2019 Twins.
Twins, yeah.
Which, if you remember, was the juiced ball year. So take that as you will. There have been comparisons made to this offense between this offense and the 27 Yankees. Not sure if you're seeing that at all, but the comparisons are being made.
I mean, they had how many guys over 30 home runs? I want to say 5.
Over 30.
Over 30. I think they had Olsen, Acuna, Ozuna.
Riley? Was Riley get it?
I don't know if Riley and Albies got there. That's what I want to look at.
I mean, 4.
You talk your talk. I'm going to find it.
4 at the minimum. Yeah, trying to see here. Where am I at on my notes? The duo of Acuna and Olsen, I know I'm not breaking any ground here, shattering any glass. The duo, for me, the duo of Acuna and
5.
Olsen, is it 5? Who are the others? Was it Riley?
All the names, yeah. Acuna with 41, Riley with 37, Olsen with 54, Albies with 33, Ozuna with 40. And, for a down year, Michael Harris had 18. Arcia had 17. 21 from Eddie Rosario. 21 from Sean Murphy. I mean, I get it. I understand the comparisons. This lineup's crazy.
No, it definitely is. And as, I was saying, the duo, I don't want to call it the X factor, but an important thing for me is going to be ensuring that the duo of Acuna and Olsen work the way they have been all year, where if Acuna doesn't have the pop on a given night, that he's putting himself on base to help out Matt Olson, to give him opportunities to score runs, because you're going to need that duo. You're going to need that whole lineup. And it's safe to assume that on a given night, at least half of those guys are going to show up. So you don't have to worry as much there. But you're gonna need help from those two guys in particular, you're going to need them to continue their MVP worthy campaigns because of how many question marks are surrounding your staff right now.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't know what you're going to get from a blistered Fried.
Right.
I don't even know what the situation is with Kyle Wright. Is he back?
I think so.
Is he on the shelf? I think at one point we talked about it. I can't remember what the deal is with him. But then you've got Charlie Morton's out for this series.
Right.
Spencer Strider, like we've seen him chased early on more than one occasion. I don't know with an offense.
All right's not on their injury report, so
I don't know with this offense that Philly is bringing to Truist. I don't know if a guy like Spencer Strider is going to be able to give you length, because he's prone to pop. So I don't know. This is gonna be the one I'm watching. I'll have my eye on the closest, because this is going to be must-watch baseball. And you're going to have the Braves on their warpath looking for revenge from last year.
Well, what you were saying about Acuna needing to be Acuna, JT Realmuto knows how to throw some dudes out. So that's going to be fun to watch, like the pitching staff versus Acuna on the bases. Because like an extra 90 feet means so much more now.
Yeah.
And it's such a big deal. So like I'm curious to see how that stuff's going to be handled. And on top of just like the Philly vibes are just through the freaking moon right now.
Yeah. And
you talk to Braves fans, the reason Braves fans are, at least the old enough Braves fans are nervous, is because like this is what happens, dude. They do really well and they get bounced. It's happened a lot. It's happened more often than not. They get bounced.
Braves fans should consider themselves lucky and fortunate for being able to snag it in 21.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't have that,
they'd be miserable right
This
now.
whole narrative looks completely different.
Yeah.
You're looking at a team very reminiscent of the 90s Braves.
Are we going Phillies? We're going Phillies. I'm going Phillies. I think you're going Phillies.
I think we're going Phillies.
Does it go 7? Or no, it's 5. What am I talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it go 5?
Yeah. I mean, I'll give the Braves at least that respect.
I mean,
hold on. I need to correct myself, because I said it would be, if they didn't get the one in 21, it'd be reminiscent of the team of the Braves of the 90s. What I meant by that was just like the division title after division title after division.
But nothing to show for it, right?
Nothing to show for it. So, I mean, if they're going to add to this dynasty narrative, this would be a year to do it, given the offense they have. But
a dynasty needs 3. I think that's
minimum.
3 within 10 years. That's my definition.
Yeah.
10 is generous.
04, 07, 13. Yeah, there's a dynasty right there. Right behind us. Yeah,
I hate it.
That looks good. Yeah. So I think I know I just got done saying this would be the year to snag another, given the lineup that you got, even despite the lack of pitching that I believe that they have.
This is an utter failure, and they have to. That has to be the mentality. Like, do whatever you want in the off during the regular season. Put up numbers all you want, but if it doesn't come with a trophy, it doesn't matter.
And that's why I've really tried to temper my arrogance during the regular season when the Red Sox are doing well, and I just say that with them being my team, but just generally, because just talking about anything, not even just my team or like my favorite players or whatever, just generally, you have to tread lightly because you have to understand, and it's no mystery, that anything, and it's cliche at this point, but anything can happen in October. So it's like, yeah, we heard about the Braves all season long, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Historic output. But like that doesn't you hear about it all the time. The best team doesn't necessarily always.
And you talk about like the gap, dude. This gap that they're on. This is a weird gap. It hurt them last year.
Yeah.
Like this little layoff time is not good. And while you're laying off, while you're chilling, the team you're playing is getting hot.
In no world is the rest that you're getting right now from the first round bye is more there's no scenario where that's more beneficial than the vibes that are building up.
Not to mention it's done in 2 games. The Phillies are now getting 2 days off. That's all they need. So I'm going to assume we don't have probables yet for Saturday, right?
Last I checked, we did not have probables.
But I would assume Wheeler is going to be able to go by game 2. That's Sunday. That's 4 days rest. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 days rest. No, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, so 4 days.
4 days rest, yeah.
So Wheeler, if you have Wheeler going game 2, you got Nola coming back for game 3 on a full week because you're going to have a travel day on Monday.
Right, because the National League starts the...
I'm sorry. Rest day Sunday.
So 5 days for Wheeler.
Yeah, so they're going full rest. There's no advantage anymore.
No, there's no. Yeah, because all DS's games start Saturday, and then
Sunday is just AL.
Just AL, yeah. So,
and then Monday is just NL.
Yeah.
So you're right. I don't think there really is much in it. Like the advantage isn't there anymore. The Phillies have figured stuff out in the meantime, and are just coming in with a whole lot of momentum.
Yeah. So if we're going prediction by prediction here, I'm gonna say Phillies in 5.
Me too. Phillies in 5. I like it. What a series!
No, you know what? No,
you're gonna double down.
I gotta. I feel like I really gotta back up what I've been. All this noise I've been talking about. I feel like I'm not going sweep.
Oh.
I'm not going sweep.
I was ready for it. I was giving up.
No, you know what? I'm not gonna.
Phillies in 4?
I'm not gonna back into this prediction. I'm going Phillies in 4.
Phillies in 4.
I'm going Phillies in 4. Because
they lose game 1? Is that what you're saying? Strider versus like Taiwan Walker? Who? I don't even know who's going game 3 or game 1.
I don't know which game they dropped, but talking about the break, because that was the one, probably the biggest element that I hadn't really factored in yet. But after just kind of mapping out the next 4 days, 4 or 5 days, like I said, there's no scenario in which the rest that the Braves have received is more beneficial than what's been happening in Philly right now. So for me to just back in saying Phillies in 5, that seems like that seems like me trying to play it cautious. But like if what I've been saying about the Phillies, if I truly believe that, and I think the vibes are where they're at, and that offense is clearly here to play, and you get more starts from guys like Wheeler and Nola that you just got, I'm not say what you want about the offense, but anything happens in October, I'm taking Phillies in 4.
I'm struggling. I do this every freaking year. So it's 2-2-1. Okay. Just wanted to figure that out.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I was looking at first. So you're saying the Braves, I mean, yeah, I get it. I mean, 4 is...
I mean,
it's realistic. I don't think it's that crazy.
They'll drop one in Atlanta.
They're going to lose the game 1, I think.
They're just not... That's fine. Yeah. I mean, because...
But you cannot lose one at home. If it goes back to Atlanta, it's going to be tough. I don't think I like the 5 pick either.
Yeah,
I can't imagine
agree.
the Phillies doing it in Atlanta. Game 5.
Yeah.
I'll go with you. I'll ride that with you.
Okay.
I'll ride that with you.
All right. We've arrived at the same conclusion.
In 4. Phillies in 4.
Phillies in 4. D-backs, Dodgers. You've got the Dodgers, who are coming off the best record in baseball since the trade deadline. This will be their, again, another team with the bye. They'll be rested up. I think it's safe to assume, similar to the Braves, the biggest question for them is going to be, what are they going to get out of these arms? Mm-hmm. I mean, you're looking at a team that has Clayton Kershaw leading in innings, which I don't know if we saw that on opening day, if we saw that happening. You've got names you can throw out there: Bobby Miller, Lance Lynn, among others. I mean, if the D-backs are going to continue to be crafty, to hit for contact, to utilize the base pass, especially like you just said, with 90 feet being all the more important now.
And good defense, dude. They have...
And good defense.
I don't think people understand how athletic they are. And one of the plays that I'm mentioning with the Brewers was Old Man Longo doing it at third base.
Yeah, thinking he's like...
sniping out of the air and then doubling someone off at second.
Thinking he's back in his heyday.
Yeah. But, I mean, the athleticism around the field. I mean, Christian Walker, I think, is like a top 3 defensive first baseman. Ketel Marte is at home at second. Perdomo, Alec Thomas, and Corbin Carroll can run down anything. Like, that's a really good defense. But here's the thing, dude. It's like they I won't say they handed it to the Brewers. Like I said, a couple calls go the other way, and this series very well could have gone 3 games.
No, but look, and I
can't go Diamondbacks.
I came into the wild card series, and I said it. You can go back and listen. I was like a little mellowed out by just the way they had kind of uninspired me, I guess, coming into it. I just like wasn't all that high on them. But the fact that they went in there and figured out a way to take down the arms for Milwaukee.
Yeah, but it's not Corbin Burns that we're used to.
But
Freddie Peralta, I mean, yeah.
That's why the Brewers were such a dark horse for people, is because of the pitching. And it's not even that. It's not like it's not like it's a revelation. Like everybody knew what the Brewers' strong point was coming into the playoffs. But the fact that the D-backs were able to take advantage of that, and again, like I said, one of those 3 arms was not going to go. If it still went 2 games, one of those arms wasn't going to go. So don't yes, the Woodruff news was a tough blow for them, but like you still had 2 other guys, 2 other dudes that you should have at least snagged one from, and the D-backs did what they had to do. So I'm not saying that gives me enough reason to go with them.
But you're saying the series could go a little deeper.
I think they give the Dodgers a run for their money. And like we talked about last episode, interdivision matchups, like there's something to be said for that. Like
one would think.
Well, one would think.
One would think.
Marlins
are so dead to me.
Garbage. So I'll go. Honestly, I'll go. Okay, hear me out. The logic that I applied to the Phillies, picking them in 5.
Yeah.
And then backing out when thinking about, I don't know if I like Phillies' chances of taking the 5th game in Atlanta.
You don't think the Dodgers can do it in Arizona? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, it would be in LA.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the first 2.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to apply that logic and say that I'm going to push it to 5, but I'm going to give the Dodgers the edge in
Game 5. I gotcha. Okay.
So I'll give the D-backs 2 because I think they've earned that respect.
I'm going Dodgers in 4.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna do it in Chase.
Okay.
Yeah. That I mean, like I said, I think offensively, defensively, yes, they can hang. But the Brewers lineup ain't the Dodgers lineup. And Mookie and Freddie just wearing pitchers down over a 5-game series.
I get it, but like you have to remember we talk so much about the D-backs athleticism.
This I would feel better if Gallen went game 1. The fact that Gallen went game 2.
But you didn't even throw Kelly.
Kelly does nothing.
I don't know why, dude. Kelly has been
nothing
fantastic this year. I legit like this isn't a
Nothing
bit.
for me.
This is not me like trying to play devil's advocate. Merrill Kelly has been
Nothing.
legitimate this year.
That's fine.
What are we talking about?
It's I got the Sonny Gray type feels in me that he's just not built for the he's not built for the stage.
World Baseball Classic rubbed you the wrong way. I get it.
Sure did.
I get it. Okay, but you're gonna tell me
I know, spring training mode.
No. You're gonna tell me past Clayton Kershaw that you don't like his odds against any of those other arms that the Dodgers are gonna trot out there?
Well, Kelly, I'm assuming Kelly goes game 1.
I mean, that's a fair assumption.
Which is going to be Kershaw, right?
Yeah, I get. I mean, I was going off the assumption that we didn't have probables yet, but I mean, I guess process of elimination.
But they do have Kershaw. I did see Kershaw as a probable on the ESPN app. Nothing for the Diamondbacks though.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so Kelly then would go. Okay, so flip it on its head. Say you take the loss against Kershaw. Say you're right. Say Kelly doesn't show up against the Dodgers.
Yeah, Gallen. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He goes Monday.
All I'm saying is
he goes Monday. So that's 4 days rest. So that's
yeah. All I'm saying is like let's not. Yeah, we can talk about the Dodgers lineup all we want, but like. Again, pitching in the postseason, vital. I just don't know. Unless the guys that they have past Kershaw, if they throw Lynn out there, which, I mean, do you start Lynn? Do you have Lynn come in I think you have to start piggyback guy?
You got Bobby Miller 2, probably Gonsolin 3. Right?
No, isn't Gonsolin out for the year?
Am I losing it?
I don't think Gonsolin is even... I think Gonsolin's out for the year.
I think Gonsolin's fine. I'm looking at the injury report. I don't see anybody on there named Gonsolin.
I thought he was out. He was out for the year.
Looking good to me, sir.
Tony Gonsolin... to undergo Tommy John on Friday, September 1. Gonsolin's done. That's what I thought.
Why is there an injury report that doesn't have his name on it? What is that about?
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I thought. Which is speaks more to my point. Like, who are you gonna trot out there? You're gonna need whoever goes out there to have their best stuff. I don't know. Beside the point. All right, we got to keep moving. What are you going? You're going Dodgers 4?
I'm not making this up. Look at that. Injury report. Nothing. That's what happens when you don't watch Dodger games.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Where are we at?
Dodgers in 4, yeah.
I'm going Dodgers in 5. Astros Twins.
The Astros don't scare me as much as
they
have in the past.
Like, yeah, they did what they had to do. They turned it on just enough to squeak out the division, but
by a tiebreaker. I don't think Framber.
I'm just saying.
You've had Framber in fantasy all year.
Yeah.
Not the Framber that we're used to for like a while now, right?
Yeah, down the stretch was not the Framber they would have hoped for.
Mm-hmm. Verlander is Verlander. Is Verlander is Verlander.
Is Verlander.
There's just something about like the Twins 1-2 punch that.
Yeah, but you want to talk about home field advantages. That's a tough ballpark to win in.
Houston.
Specifically.
Houston. You're not saying Minnesota. You're not saying Minnesota's a tough place to win.
No.
Okay.
I'm saying
cool.
Houston.
Yeah. There's nothing tough about Minnesota.
No.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you're talking about like the Astros don't scare me, but I'm saying like just keep in mind like that element of the equation.
Yeah.
Because remember, like it's a weird offseason. I've had to remind myself multiple times, like we're starting off in Minnesota.
Oh.
Correct?
No.
Are we not?
No. It's in Houston.
Would it be? Oh, right. Yeah. Duh. Okay. Because we just saw the Twins. But you're still getting two there in the middle. So they'll be heading back to, or excuse me, 2 and 2, 2 in Houston, 2 in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So like, how do we see that breakdown happening? Do we see? Just go ahead and give me a prediction now, and I want to hear your breakdown. Who's getting what and where?
So, I mean, no probable yet. I hate both teams. I'm not going to watch much of this series. Just going to be honest with you.
Enough to be able to talk
enough
about
to talk on the pod, but not enough to be glued.
Not emotionally invested.
Not at all. So, especially because we're going to be in Baltimore for the first 2 games, we're not going to catch much of.
That's true.
Much of those games. So, I mean, I think again, it's like same scenario. The fact that the Twins were able to keep it under 3 games, they were taking it in the sweep. You got a 2-day rest. You have Saturday. I don't know who they're rolling out. I mean, I would say Joe Ryan, game 1,
which is not a bad.
That's not a bad 3. That's not a bad 3 guy. Then you're playing Sunday off Monday. So Sunday should wheel back around to Pablo. If they can take 1 in Houston, dang, dude, that could be wild. Nah, I can't do it. Astros in 5. I can't do it. I can't flip script. They're not tough. I do think Correa is going to have himself a pretty good series, though. He's going to get a lot of love. He's going to feel comfortable hitting in that ballpark. I could see him doing well.
I don't know, dude. I know I talk so much noise on the Twins. But
you want to take them, don't you?
Like, did you not like what you saw? Did that not change anything for you?
I mean, it did.
I'm not talking about like the narrative, our narrative around the team, just generally, but like specifically at this point in time. Do you not feel any differently about the Twins?
I think
after the last
it kind of does, but the fact that like the Blue Jays were so nothing to have a 3-1 victory and a 2-0 victory.
Yeah.
Against a team that was basically just going through the motions.
Yeah.
Versus an Astros that are just a little bit more equipped. They're experienced. Dusty Baker factor. I can't do it. Cannot.
You're right.
Again, think of that lineup. Like, go down through the names, dude. Altuve, Bregman, Yordan, Kyle Tucker. I mean, arguably I think he'll probably be a top 5 MVP. Probably 5th. But he's up there. Kyle Tucker had himself a year, dude. And it's the Astros time of year.
But just the idea that you brought up. If they could get 1 in Houston.
If they get 1 in Houston, I think it's going 5. I don't think the Twins are getting enough respect, from me included. So that has me shifting my brain a little bit, but
not enough to push.
Not enough to win it.
To push them over the edge. I
just don't trust that lineup enough. There's not enough going on with the Twins lineup that really
you're right.
Gets me going.
Yeah, because like even if you continue to get a lackluster, even if Framber, for example, comes out of the gate a little weak, you shift to a pen that's been great for you. So, and you even have some names like down the stretch that kind of blossomed for you just out of thin air, seemingly. So, I tried. I really tried.
I know. But I give you credit.
I really tried, but I can't. But I guess I'll go.
Do you think I think the Twins get one in Houston?
Yeah, and I like their odds to get one at home. So yeah, we'll go 5.
Okay.
I'll go Twins 5. Are we identical on all of our picks right now?
No. I had the Dodgers in 4. You had the Dodgers in 5, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So that's the only difference.
All right, last series.
Our favorite.
The one will be at the O's and the Rangers. Let's do this backwards. Give me your prediction, and then we'll talk through it and see if it's the same when we come.
I have a World Series prediction in my head that I've been sitting on for weeks that I have not expressed verbally.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not going to say it now.
As you shouldn't. We should save that for the World Series. I mean, people already know my World Series prediction. That's pretty clear.
They do?
If you've been listening and you can like piece things together, it's pretty obvious like what my World Series prediction is.
And we might have the same
one. I mean, I'm not saying that I've put it out on a graphic in the last month or two, but I may have put it out on a graphic the last month or two. That's all I'm going to say.
I think the way Kyle Bradish has like established himself the last basically the entire second half.
Is it bad to like, am I going to regret saying this, but like, is it bad to say that I'm just not clear on how that rotation has like sustained itself?
It's the only thing that makes me nervous.
I'm just waiting for the fallout.
I know,
like it just doesn't make sense. They've clearly proven it over the course of 162, but it's just like the other shoe has to drop.
I agree.
No, like
I do agree.
It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me.
I do agree.
Hear me out. A guy like Grayson Rodriguez, where it's like, okay, I can see the ceiling. I can see the potential there. It would make sense if he comes out and does what he does over the course of a year. Okay. But a guy like Kyle Bradish and like a name like Jack Flaherty, I know hasn't been great. But do you slot him in as like a long relief guy? Is he a piggyback guy? I don't know. I just don't know how this particular collection of arms has carried them.
I know.
The way they have.
I know. I think it's, I mean...
All I have to say, still taking the Orioles, but that's just the one question I have. Dude, don't take the Rangers.
I'm not. I want...
Take the Rangers. You know what?
I don't want to.
Mix it up.
I'm not going to. Because like if there's anything that we're questioning when it comes to rotations, it's going to be the Rangers. You know what I mean? Like I think if you were to tell me, if you were to just flat out put A and B numbers for their 1 and 2 starters, and we looked at Grayson Rodriguez and Kyle Bradish / Kyle Gibson through 192 innings this year.
Let's not forget about John Means.
I mean, that's a big deal.
Who looks strong down the stretch.
So if there's any, numbers that I would question, I would be more questionable on the Rangers side. And their offenses, to me, basically cancel each other out because they're so dang good.
Yeah. So,
I'm going Orioles. But
would you give the edge offensively to the Rangers though? Because I mean, raw power is what ultimately turns the tide when it comes to momentum.
Yeah.
And the Rangers have that advantage.
I think Tim Kirchin said something on a broadcast yesterday where it's like the team that out homers is like an 800 winning percentage or something like that.
Yeah.
Lot of juice in the Rangers lineup, but
the O's are just extremely fundamental, though.
they're really, really
Which
good.
also plays in the postseason.
I'm struggling with this one, but yeah. I think it goes 5.
So what is that, 5 for all of your series?
Yeah, it's the opposite. We got sweeps, and then we got 5s.
4 game 5s?
For everyone else. That's such a soft, safe bet, but it is what it is. The Orioles juice, I'm excited. I'm getting on board. I might buy a Cal jersey while I'm there if we can find one without a Nike check mark.
But you won't.
So
I've scoured the web. They don't exist anymore.
So
they don't exist.
But either way, I might snag one. I don't know. I wouldn't mind having a Gunner jersey either. Like, that's kind of sick too. It's hard to say, but if Rushman didn't, what does he wear? 35.
Rushman 35.
Yeah, that
yeah.
number just does nothing for me.
Yeah,
So I don't think I'm getting that one. But yeah, I like the Orioles. I do.
If I knew Mountie was sticking around longer,
Yeah.
I'm a big Mountcastle guy.
I like that.
I've been in his corner for a while now.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Rangers just, like, they only had 2 home runs against the Rays. Just 2. And I know it's 2 games, and it's like we can't overreact to that, but I don't know, man. Doesn't Grayson Rodriguez just throw, like, freaking hard bowling balls? And outside of Corey Seager, it's basically just righty pop in that lineup, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about Grayson, honestly.
I think Kramer is a sinker baller, too. Ryan should be here. What the heck are we doing?
Yeah, I know I mentioned it, but I'm excited to see what he's able to do.
It's going to come down to...
What John Means can do, yeah.
I think it's going to come down to... The only Achilles heel is the bullpen. Especially Bautista being out. Like, I get Canoa's in that 9th inning, but, like, Fujinama just does... I know Ryan is, like, the last one on that hill of supporting him.
I don't know if you saw...
I know he's turned it around a little bit. It's just there's something about him. I don't know what it is.
That's fair. That's fair. But just know that it... Like, what... The headlines that were surrounding him when he first got traded, just know that
it's been
narrative
corrected.
was not the same.
Yeah.
When the season wrapped up.
So I mean, so you're gonna have
you got
Cole Irvin, maybe Tyler Wells, slot into that middle relief.
You got Jorge Lopez as a name.
Yeah. Yeah. Bauman.
You know, talking about bullpen, a guy, I mean, I've mentioned before, a guy I played travel ball with, Josh Spores, they were talking about it yesterday on the broadcast, that he's become Bochy's, like, 3rd most reliable arm that he goes to. So if you got a guy that had his ups and downs early in the year that seemingly has turned into one of the more reliable go-tos, like that's a good sign of where the state of your bullpen's at. So I don't know.
You gotta, like, if you're the Rays, the Rangers, John Gray has to be a stud. Martin Perez has to be a stud. Like, you can't have and Montgomery looked good, and he has looked good in the Rangers uniform.
For like at least a month.
He's made big starts. I'm just saying, be careful. As a Yankees fan, I'm just saying, if there's any Rangers fans out there, tread lightly. There's a possible downfall coming at some point.
I'm a believer. I want it on record. I'm a believer.
I hear you. In him.
I get where your skepticism's coming from. I'm just saying I'm a believer. I've seen enough because I was in that same boat. I was like, being in the AL East, having watched him for a while, I agreed with you, but I've seen enough as of late where I'm like, okay, this guy, I feel comfortable when this guy's on the bump.
Yeah,
because that's more, to me, that's more of like a mentality thing. Where it's like, even if he's got a track record
And he has a beard now. So, like, it's...
There's something to be said for just, like, finding your groove and just getting that tunnel vision where you're like, I'm in my lane right now, and I'm not worried about anything.
But I'm just saying, like, an AL East matchup, the Orioles... I know a lot of these guys are younger, but the Orioles have played against him a lot. Dane Dunning, can't forget that name. You know, I mean, he's looked good. So you have like secondary roles. Their bullpen is their biggest issue. Aroldis Chapman will absolutely ruin one of these games. I would bet my life on Aroldis Chapman messing up something for the Rangers in this postseason. I guarantee it. It's coming for you. So that could be the defining moment.
That's quite a take.
That's
quite a take.
It's 100% happening.
Not just like
that stupid smirk on his face.
Not just like, hey, be aware he's blown postseason games before. Like, just be cautious. No, you went straight for it's happening. It's just a matter of which game.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess when you're talking, these are very good matchups. Like, this is a very good matchup.
Yeah.
Between offensive, possible question marks around the rotation, but have held up pretty well. And then two bullpens that could, So I'm giving the edge to the Orioles. I think they have a better bullpen. Even if the Rangers offense has a better, more pop. I'm going Orioles.
So good matchup, you say?
It's a great matchup.
Do you want to go?
We should go.
We should go. They're right down the road, actually. Two games.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday. What day is it now?
Yep. Thursday.
Cool.
Yeah.
What do we do till then?
I don't know. Couldn't tell.
Yeah, nothing.
We got two games that we can go to if you want to go.
O's in. Did I say 5?
Yeah, you said literally just reverse of the wild card. You're going to the max every series for this next round.
I was so wrong I think I only got 1.
2.
I only got 2. I'm 2 and 2.
I made a note. You
went 3 and 1.
Yeah, I had So I got the Twins one wrong. I had the Blue Jays winning that, so I got that one wrong. I got Texas right. I got Philly right and Arizona right. So I got 3 or 4. You had the Rays winning, and then you had. Or no, did you go? You got. Who did you go for Blue Jays Twins? You went
Blue Jays.
Are you sure?
Let me look at our post. I took Blue Jays.
Okay, yeah.
You also took Blue Jays.
Oh right, yeah, Yeah, we both went Toronto. So, you went 2 for 4. I went 3 for 4.
Yeah. The only difference was the.
Yeah.
The Rangers.
Yep.
Which just shame on.
Yeah, you should have known, dude.
Shame on the Rays.
Not only did you pick the Rays, but they got swept.
I know. I'm aware.
That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so you're going 5 games for all. That's literally not going to happen. That I would put the odds of that happening in at like -3.5. I'm going to say I had LA and Arizona going 5. I had Philly and the Braves 4. Remember, I corrected myself.
We did. I rode that boat. I'm not going off.
Yeah,
I'm not going off.
Okay, you changed. So I went 4 for that one. After originally going 5, right?
Yeah.
Was that the one I yeah, because I was like, I gotta put my money where my mouth is for the Phillies. Because I originally went 5, I'm going 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it.
Can I drop? I think I'm gonna drop the Astros one down to 4.
That's fair.
I'm gonna do it in Minnesota.
I think you said that. You did say that. You said they were gonna do it in Minnesota.
4. Yeah.
Yeah, 4.
All
okay.
Right.
I've lost track of what I've said.
Me too.
All right, one quick recap here, just so it's on record. All right.
Phillies 4, both of us.
Phillies 4 for both of us. LA and Arizona. I had 5. Right?
I have 4.
Yeah, I have 5. Okay.
I just changed it just now.
Okay.
Dodgers 4.
Twins, Astros.
4 Astros.
I had. Oh shoot, that's the one I'm trying to remember what I said. Did I say 5? What was my logic there? Oh no, I think I said 4. Yeah, because you talked me out of the line with like the Twins lineup and everything. Yeah. I think I went Twins 4 or Astros 4.
Yeah.
And then O's Rangers. Have I made my pick yet?
I don't know. I didn't hear it.
I guess I haven't. I'm gonna go O's in. I guess I have room to go with a 5 here because I have 2 4s. I'll go O's in 5.
I want it back in Baltimore. I want Baltimore fans to be able to soak that moment in.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, they'll have plenty of moments to soak in Saturday and Sunday. Like that place is gonna come unglued.
Yeah.
And we'll be there for it.
Sure will.
Sweet. That should wrap it up. You got anything else?
No.
No.
I'm kidding.
No.
All right. We've covered a lot.
We will. We're still trying to figure out content for what we're gonna do for you guys this coming weekend. Heading to Camden. It'll be fun. Hopefully, we can link up with Ryan. Hopefully, get him on the pod sometime soon. But we may put together like a little vlog or something. We'll keep it fun for you guys. May try to do some different things than we did when we were out in Arizona for the World Baseball Classic. Might try some new things. We'll see. But next time you guys will hear from us will be next week. I don't know when you'll hear from us next because you'll be flying back Monday after the game on Sunday.
Yeah.
So
maybe a Sunday night thing. When we get back from the stadium.
Run it back here before you head back home. Yeah, maybe.
Get 2. Let's get 2 in here.
Maybe. Let's all right. So either way, you'll hear from us at some point in the coming days. We'll be recapping the first couple games of the DS series. But other than that, you got anything else?
We did no. I was gonna say, I mean, if we were like, we were already pretty familiar with Baltimore, so I was gonna say like if people had like things we need to do or need to see or like restaurants we need to go to, but I mean we got all that figured out.
Might lean on Ryan a little bit for that.
Yeah. If anyone has parking tips, Ryan didn't have any parking tips.
Yeah, Ryan said to park on the other side of the city and just scooter over. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I don't do scooters. I think we
have
established that. For those that don't know that story, you'll never know that story. That's it. That's all I got. Let's go. Let's go O's.
Let's go O's. Let's go O's.
Let's go Camden.
Yeah.
Don't go chasing curveballs.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.